This is News Talk 980 CKNW.
Brexit is one step closer to becoming a reality today with the official written notice handed in today by British Prime Minister Theresa May. But amidst all the hand-wringing, especially by business people, what's next?
Plus, our Prime Minister Justin Trudeau is in Winnipeg and Saskatoon today, while the cabinet ministers are in Vancouver, other cities across Canada too. They're promoting the federal budget. We had Bill Morneau here yesterday.
Yeah, let's bring in Michael Campbell, host of Canada's #1 rated financial show Money Talks, to get his take on these big stories. And Michael, Brexit still fostering a huge amount of debate inside the UK. Some people are really fearing a massive economic disruption. Other people are rubbing their hands with glee. They can hardly wait.
Yeah, well, I mean, this is a really major change. Obviously, we're talking something of historical significance, and obviously the uncertainty surrounding it has a lot of people on edge. I mean, it's not surprising considering the level of integration of the economy of the UK with the European Union, the free flow of workers, the massive regulatory regime that dictates the thousands of rules for trade. So, I mean, this is obviously a big deal. But you know what? It sort of reminds me of all the hand-wringing over Donald Trump in a way, in that neither establishment saw this change coming, which simply showed to me how out of touch they were with the majority of their citizens, or a big chunk anyway of their citizens. I mean, none of the establishment in the EU acknowledged the problems with things like the open refugee policy that certainly played a part in the Brexit vote. None of them recognized the dissatisfaction with the massive EU bureaucracy telling Brits, how to do even the most minor things. I mean, keep in mind, there was 91 EU regulations governing towels, 454 454 on towels. It was 91 on showers, 652 about coffee, 1,872 rules about cars, 554 about dogs. I mean, come on. It's not a coincidence when Theresa May handed in, got the Article 50 sent into the EU, that she said, we're now making our laws in London or Dublin and everywhere else in the UK, obviously not in Brussels anymore. I mean, it's not a tough argument to make. I think that Brexit and the election of Donald Trump was a reflection of the failure of the political establishment. I mean, the anti-establishment vote gained momentum for a reason. I mean, we can call it arrogance of the elites or whatever. They ignored the wishes of a large portion of the population. Failure of big government to deliver on economic promises for a heck of a lot of people. But it's still interesting. I don't hear much of that. They still don't look in the mirror. It's about somebody else all the time. But, yeah, I think that's what it's about there.
Mike, last night I saw a news report saying that a whole bunch of Britons that live abroad, mostly in the EU, are now scrambling to apply for citizenship in France. That's one of the things here we're going to see with Brexit. What else would we like to see? What's going to happen next?
Well, I mean, again, the thing is that it's so uncertain. All we know now is that the EU's got about 6 weeks to respond to the official request from Britain. I mean, it's never happened before, so nobody really knows. But you're absolutely right. I mean, there's a ton of questions. I mean, the UK, I think, wants to continue a trading relationship, although some members of Theresa May's party don't, but she certainly does, and the majority do, want some sort of trading relationship. But, I mean, how much of it's going to still be under European Union rules? All we know is that we got 2 years to do this thing. But in the meantime, as you know, there's lots of talk about a Scottish referendum where they want to stay with the EU and not with the UK. Certainly the Scottish First Minister wants it. And as I said, you got people of Theresa May's government who want completely out, the so-called hard Brexit. So, yeah, there's a ton of questions remaining. And I think that's why people don't like it.
Yeah, the clock is ticking. The debate is raging. Everybody's saying, what is the bottom line? Is this a good thing or a bad thing for the UK?
Well, I don't think anybody likes the uncertainty. That's the first thing. And it could scare a lot of business investment away. Drex, you're saying about people now, some people, there'll be a lot of anecdotal stories about applying for their citizenship in France or what have you. But you're going to also, I bet, see some companies move from the EU move from the UK into the EU. And the reason is they don't want to take a chance there won't be a trading relationship. So you've got that kind of stuff. So, on the longer term, though, let's not forget, the European economic model is not a success. I mean, you got flatlining growth for a reason. They got way too much bureaucracy. Their government intervention has not worked. So I can find you a ton of academics, economists are telling you it's probably longer term a good thing, but we'll have to see.
Let's bring it back here to Canada. We missed out on chatting to you last Wednesday, but last Tuesday we finally got our look at the second federal Liberal budget. What are your thoughts on it?
Well, I mean, I was pretty surprised. I thought it was supposed to be, David Rosenberg's big-time economist for Gluskin Sheff, saying he thought it would be a tax grab budget. Well, it wasn't. It was sort of minor moves everywhere. But you got to remember, I mean, it's a budget. We like to talk. We care about economics. But my experience is this. It's kind of like the old Joni Mitchell song, The Big Yellow Taxi, is we don't care what we've got until it's gone. Well, we don't really care about economics and finance until there's a big problem. That's what I certainly sense. So here's my thing. It doesn't matter who's in power. If they put out a budget and you care about economic growth, the thing you're looking for is, do the various aspects of this budget increase the likelihood of people investing money, capital investment it's called, or do they make it less attractive to invest, grow your business, and create jobs? That's what it is. And it doesn't matter this was a Liberal budget, could have been Conservative, could have been NDP. That's how anybody who cares about economics is going to have a look.
Well, and the other thing that we saw in that budget was an obsession with the word innovation. How many times did we hear that?
Yeah, 261 times. Somebody else did the counting, not me, but it was 261 times. And here's the other point. When you talk about innovation, Linda, keep in mind, we already spend $22.6 billion on a combination of innovation and adult skill training.
Wow.
Here's the sad part. We know that most of it has not had performance measures. We don't know if that spending, and that's a lot of money, $22.6 billion, we don't know whether it's effective or not. Governments everywhere come out and say they're going to do jobs and they're going to do economic growth and it's all going to be great, if you just elect them. Well, here's the question. We've got to wise up. If governments could do that so easily, if there's some magic wand that they can wave to get jobs and economic growth, why haven't they done it? Mm-hmm. Why hasn't that happened in Europe where you have tremendous government intervention in the economy? Why wasn't it happening in the blue-collar states in the U.S. where technology caused a lot of job losses? I mean, you could go to Venezuela, the former Soviet Union, but the point is we don't have any evidence that this happens. And yet every year, different parties, same story. We're going to grow the economy and create jobs. Well, I'm still holding my breath, and I'm a very deep shade of blue by now.
Michael Campbell is back on your radio Saturday with Money Talks. Mike, always a pleasure.
My pleasure. Thanks.
Vancouver's News, Vancouver's Talk. This is News Talk 980, CKNW.